Hello, and welcome to ShePack Unleashed. I'm one of your hosts, Tania.
I'm Nichole. Welcome to your weekly dose of candid discussion and the pursuit of finding your tribe in this journey of motherhood, womanhood, and sisterhood.
I'm Ashley. Join us as we leave no stone unturned. In each episode, we have heart-to-heart conversations that aim to challenge and empower one another.
I'm Jenny. No more waiting. ShePack Unleashed begins now. On this episode, ShePack's haunted happenings.
You didn't like the last of it?
She didn't like the last part. She's editing on the fly.
Trick-or-treating, editing on the fly.
Oh, well, do you want me to read all of that?
No.
It's long.
I hear you.
You can also kind of see it.
shortening it up.
So obviously we are here for Halloween. And obviously we like Halloween. We do.
I'm a fan.
Super fun.
Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Halloween is my favorite
Like your favorite holiday all year or of the like trifecta?
All year.
Okay. Love it. Love it for you.
All year.
Yeah.
Halloween is one, like, and I was just having this conversation with my neighbors. They are not Halloween people. And I was like, ooh, you can't live in this neighborhood and not be a Halloween person.
I think Halloween is the best because there's very little expectation. Like, you want to get dressed up? Go all out. You want to just put cat ears on? That's fine. You don't want to dress up at all? Fine. You want to hand out candy? Go for it. You don't turn your light off. You don't have to give anyone anything. You don't have to make a certain meal. There's zero expectation. You can let your freak flag fly.
That's interesting.
that.
I do think some neighborhoods probably have different levels of expectations. Like there are some neighborhoods closer to where I am that have like, it's like a competition with all the neighbors, right? Trying to one up each other of like, how good is your candy? Do you give out the whole candy bar? Do you only give out the mini candies? Do you give out healthy snacks or not? Like
you give out liquor
and it
bottles.
turns into
Yeah.
this whole
All
like
of the above.
thing, which I don't agree with. I don't think
it
that
makes
it
it a
should be
thing.
like
Oh, I love
So
it.
my neighborhood is that neighborhood, and I don't think it's a thing. Like
you don't
do
feel
I don't feel
any kind of
pressure.
way.
No, it feels fun, and there are plenty of neighbors that are just like, I'm not into it this year. And
You're
they're turning
also
their
a
light off.
whole candy bar house, aren't you?
I am a full.
There's a map on our
Is
neighborhood.
it like a trick or treat map or like a we have special decorations?
It's all of the above. Like we have Teal Pumpkin House where you get non-candy items. We have adult trick-or-treating.
Yes.
You get like liquor. So that we can then prioritize what houses we go to
Same.
first. I pick the liquor houses first
Makes sense.
and then work our way back
Fill
to the
your
other
cup and-
houses.
So wait,
Stay
can
warm.
we back up?
Our neighborhood also has a Google map though, with different colored pins based
It's
on
not a
what
Google
you're.
map. It is like a printed.
Oh,
like,
ours is
it
a Google
like
map because it goes. It's evergreen. It goes year to year, and it's
Yeah.
a teal pin if you have allergy-friendly treats. There's another color for peanut-free. There's another color for adult, like Jello shots or ciders.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait, we've kind of jumped right into the thick of things though.
Can
Like
you tell we love it?
what if can we back up and talk about how do you even prepare for Halloween? Like what does that look like for you? Do you plan costumes months in advance? Are you a last minute costume? Do you do family costumes? Like
Immediately after Labor Day, it is Halloween season.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
And we
so you start
already
planning right then.
Yep,
we already
'cause
are
it's
starting
fall.
to talk.
Okay.
And
Like
fall means
pumpkin
pumpkins.
spice at Starbucks, it is time to plan and decorate.
Okay.
Agreed.
So your Halloween decorations go up after Labor Day?
They could if I was that
Oh, okay.
organized. We're not quite that organized.
Ours go up pretty early, like mid-September, like mid to end September, we start putting up Halloween decorations.
Yeah, no later than October 1st.
Yeah, no later than
All of
October 1st.
October, I
Yeah.
gotta have it all there.
Yeah.
I like it. And then do you guys do like family costumes or do you do individual? Because all of us have kids here, right?
Yeah.
So when they're little, you get to decide what they wear and then they start to have opinions of their own.
No,
and-
thank you.
Yeah.
My kids do not get opinions. Actually, they get opinions, but like I am a Halloween costume person, and we have been since my first was born. Like we have not had a year where we are not a family unit, and it's usually like not just like me and my husband and my kids, but it's like my parents and like the cousins and like the whole like everybody is the same.
Everyone does this?
Yeah.
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 And who picks the
Wow.
theme?
And it like rotates. It's a discussion.
Does it?
It is.
Pretty sure the monster-in-law picks it.
That's not true. It's a discussion, right? And so this year, Evan wanted to do Zelda really bad. So we are doing Zelda this year.
Great.
That's awesome.
Like-
yeah, if someone has a strong opinion, honor it.
Yeah, and like
Makes
we've
sense.
done like Mario Kart and PJ Masks and Toy Story and like everybody is a character. And then my kids usually assign like who gets to be what. Like
That's fun.
and my favorite is that they always assign my husband the villain. Whoever the villain is, he is assigned the villain of every costume.
I love
Someone's
that.
got to do it.
It's my favorite.
We did family costumes. So before we were married, Beto and I have been, like, we take Halloween very seriously.
Yeah.
So we have done themed costumes as a couple for years and years before we got married. And then when we had Cruz, we did costumes with him. And then it started to be a little bit more his choice, but it was, you know, we would kind of do what he wanted. And then came the second child. And so in theory, we've been rotating the pick of the family pick, but I feel like it's gotten more relaxed. Now, last Halloween, Luna was 4, and it was the first Halloween where she really had an opinion. It was also supposed to be her pick in the rotation, and she wanted to be Princess Peach. And so we all originally got costumes to go with that, and Cruz was very uncomfortable with what he got. Like, Beto had a Mario, it was going to be fine. And so at the last minute, I just got him a dragon costume, and I felt like that was a big deal. Like, I didn't make a big deal of it. He could wear what he wanted, and it ended up being so cold, I wore a skeleton onesie anyway with a wig, so I wasn't even on theme, and it was okay. And, like, it was good for me to know, like, just loosen up a bit, because I can be a bit of a Halloween crazy person. And so I don't know what we're going to do this year, because the kids have made the assumption that it'll be a family costume. There have been talks that we're going to do Inside Out characters.
Ooh, I like that.
But there has not been, agreement. And so I don't know. But I feel like we have an entire closet in our house that is just costume. Actually, now it's our whole attic.
The whole attic
that
is
just
Halloween.
costumes. And then we have, like, the racks of the dancer costumes. So when in doubt, just come to my house and get a dancer costume, put some wings on it. You can be a fairy, you're done. Like, so.
We also have racks and racks of costumes.
Yeah. But I love it. I think it's so fun. I didn't even get up in the attic today.
This is what you had on hand.
This is what I just had in hand in my jewelry box.
I love that.
Wow. It works. It's perfect, though.
Yeah.
So ready for it.
Yeah, this was what I wore to the Ren Fair, because this is Elaine from A Court of Thorns and Roses. Woo-hoo. So shout out to Book Talk and our Romantasy girls. But, like, I love it so much. I love dressing up so much. And so, like, Halloween is definitely my favorite of the season too. And also, I look for any excuse throughout the year to dress up and put a costume on and, like, have fun. I do love that we have, like, the light side and the dark side of, like, our
I always go dark
princessy
with my
vibe.
costumes.
I love
My
it. I love it.
preference.
But, like, we've typically done family costumes, right? So when we only have the one, right? And Ryan was born, and I was like, now's my chance. And so we did, like, a little sailor thing. And so I had this, like, red and white polka dot pinup, like 1950s style dress. And I did, like, the victory rolls. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
And then Ryan was in, like, a little baby sailor costume. And then Landon had a sailor costume. It was so fun. And it was the first time I had gotten Landon to do matching costumes with me. And so then I was like, you're done now, because now we have family costumes and you have to match me. And so it's been really fun. But Ryan's now 10, right? And so he still, I think, is on board with the family costumes. But, like, I don't know how much longer he's going to
My
want
God,
to
I'm
do
going to be
that.
the most depressed person on the face of the planet when my kids are like, we're not doing
I will do
family
themes
costume.
with you, but let your kids be free.
Well, I
For
will
sure.
be with whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
There's
But, like,
other
I'm
ways.
also going to be the person.
There's other ways too that you can have, like, coordinating things. Like, we don't do family costumes like you guys do, but, like, last year I wore the skeleton jumpsuit and Bob wore a skeleton suit. So we were like Mr. and Mrs. Skeleton. There was one year that
What were the kids?
I don't even remember. Derek was a ghost.
Well, that goes on par, I feel like.
Derek has been a ghost a couple years. He just really likes it. I don't remember what Calvin was. Was he Harry Potter last year? He might have been Harry Potter last year.
Skeletons and ghosts. I can't.
Well, right, but like
that's
some
the
of us
fun of
coordinate.
Halloween.
Like, there was one year that, like, Calvin was a light up rainbow and Bob was a unicorn, and they were like a unicorn and a rainbow, and they just, like, gallivanted the neighborhood together. Or we've done, like, a witch and a wizard. Like, so we do things together, but it's not.
Halloween, right? Like, making costumes versus store-bought costumes, and, like, saving money. Like, making costumes can save you money, but
If
then
you can
if you're
sew.
like me, who, like, want it to be, like, to perfection, I end up spending more money making my own version instead of just, like, buying something from Amazon.
I've only ever made one Halloween costume, and that was Taylor Swift
Okay.
when you helped me make it.
That
Because
jumpsuit turned out so good.
So good. But other than that, I buy him.
Okay.
Because, first of all, who has the time?
Yep, I
It ain't me. Second of all, like, we do very, like, on, like, commercial type costumes.
So it needs to
Commonly
be like
available.
exact,
Yeah,
not
so
like
it's-
inspired by.
Right, we don't inspire by costumes. We are like like I am in the Princess Peach dress.
Yep.
You see,
Like
complete with tiara with gemstones.
Yes,
Yeah.
I couldn't go to the store and buy Elaine.
right. Right. So we don't do that. And like when we did PJ Masks, right? Like or when we did Harry Potter, whatever it is, like we can buy the costumes. And like this year we're doing Zelda and like I can buy the Princess Zelda costume.
We buy, but we tend to buy up. Like I don't love the super, super cheap costumes where it's just like 3 Velcros in the back to keep the whole thing together for the kid. Like I'm not
Muscles
looking
are, like,
to
airbrushed on.
Yeah, I'm not looking to invest like hundreds of dollars, but I do feel like my kids wear costumes frequently. There have been years where they've had 4 or 5 different costumes for just 1 month because they wear this one to school, but at school they're not allowed to wear a mask. So they do this one for trick-or-treating, then they do this one for trunk-or-treating. But we already just have them. They play in them. So like we had a Mirabelle dress that was like the official one, but had like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the 2 Velcros on the back and it like ripped right away.
Yep.
And then I had one that's slightly better with like a stretchy material.
One-time use costume.
And she wears
30 or 40.
Yeah, she wears that year round. So I try to avoid the one-time use, but we tend to buy. The only year we didn't was when Cruz was little. So he's a December baby. So he was 10 months old, and we ended up making the baby carrier look like a thing of popcorn. And he wore a little hat. We literally popped popcorn and hot glued popcorn onto a hat. And it was like fun, but it was at a time in our life when we had time to do and creativity, and that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, I think I am starting to really enjoy like buying costumes that have different pieces, right? That can then be broken up and mixed and matched to make different looks and different costumes down the road. Because I might be entering my like Ren Fair / cosplay era because I love
this for you and me, for us.
On my TikTok feed lately, and I love it so much. But I found having like a giant bin full, like I have a pleated skirt that I wore for Hermione, but that could also be used for something different, right? And like, yes, I got the Hogwarts socks, right? I got like just enough and like the Hogwarts tie. And then all the rest was like a sweater for my closet and like a white button down and this pleated little schoolgirl skirt. And I like the idea of having this entire bin or like someday maybe a whole closet of just like costume stuff that you can pull and make something out of rather than like, this is Princess Peach, right? It is forever and always Princess Peach, the end. And it's so cute, right? But I like being able to
I think there's a
mix
time
and
and
match
place
and
for
move
each.
forward.
Like I personally like the like specific costumes, right? And it's not that, and like we have the coordinating family ones together.
Yep.
So like for us, that's like okay, we need a quick costume. Like I can literally go pull like all of them together.
Yeah. And like one DIY mixed in there would stand out.
Yeah.
With all the other
And
commercials.
again, my kids are like yours. They wear costumes all the time. Like the Halloween costumes then just go into like their bin.
I believe I saw your son as Link today.
Yeah, like literally. My kids
and he outfitted all the other kids too.
right.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, my
Luna
kids
was a fairy. Yeah, they were all
dress up kids, and they always have been. And so like we put all the Halloween costumes post the kids. We don't like put them away to resell. Like they go in their bin. The adult ones go away because like I don't want them messing with ours. But like they go in the bin and they wear them all year round.
Yes.
Like all the time.
I wonder what do your kids do dress up?
My kids, sensory-wise, can't stand it.
Okay.
No.
Because Ryan never gravitated to that either.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
So,
they're
like,
mad if they wear things that aren't soft.
If I bought the costumes, it's literally a one and done, and it just hurts my soul.
No, my kids would wear them
$40,
every
$50
day if I would let them. There are some days where Luna is in 3 or 4 different costumes in one day.
Well, it's interesting. You said that they have different costumes for schools. Our school does not do holidays, and like actually, my kids are off on Halloween and the day after Halloween. Like they use them as parent-teacher work days.
Day
So that
after.
So smart.
so that you're not sending your hopped up ass kid sugar-wise back to school the next day. So like we have no school on Halloween or the day after Halloween.
That's good to remember because we always do Day of the Dead. We don't always get it. It's supposed to be the day after Halloween, but we make tamales. We do tres leches cake. We always watch Coco. Normally, we put on the back deck and like do a bonfire and do s'mores. So I'll have to like be more purposeful about it and invite you guys over.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So trick-or-treating, what is your stance on candy and keeping it? And like how much do your kids get to eat versus keep? Because I remember as a kid, like it was a goal to like fill up as much candy as humanly possible and then like take it to school, trade it, and like stash it for like.
You took it to school.
We trade.
Oh, interesting.
Food trade.
It's a whole like Monopoly game when my kids get home. They do feel like they just want to get as much as they can. But when they get home, it's really fun. I have a lot of fun just listening to them because they will sort it in like piles, like Luna's over here, Cruz's over here. And then they will start trading. Like,
Oh, wow.
oh, I like Sour Patch Kids, but you don't like that. I will give you
exchange.
all of my Kit Kats for that. And then Luna will be like, well, Milky Way is worth more than that. So one Milky Way is 5 this. And it's so fun to watch.
Oh my God.
But they kind of like prioritize it, and they know that there's a Kit Kat tax because Beto loves Kit Kat. So it's become almost like our
tax in my
own little
house.
like Monopoly game that we did never like intended
Oh,
it to
that's
be.
funny.
It's really fun.
My kids can only keep the amount of candy per their age.
Like that
What?
many pieces?
Yep.
You are the Halloween Nazi. That's awful.
Yeah. And then they switch. So we do the
Oh,
switch.
so you're
witch.
giving them like a thing
You don't
for
just
it.
steal their candy.
No, they can keep the amount per their age, and then they switch and they put it. And for those of you who don't know what switch is, it's like, I think it's just made up. This
It's
thing.
definitely made up. The
Yeah.
switch, which
But,
is not real.
And say no. And like, I also made up this like switch dance when they were kids, that they like have to take their candy on the front porch and do this like switch dance. Like the whole
What a
thing.
ritual. At the witch altar. Here is my
Yeah.
candy. Trade me for a
That's
toy.
not
Yes.
pagan at all.
Very
So
pagan. I love it.
It's so pagan.
Perfect.
I'm having the opposite reaction.
I love it. And then like the next morning, the candy is gone and their toy is
They get a
there.
toy, yeah.
For there. And then we dump it in the what we call the treat box. And like one year, my kids are gonna realize that their Halloween candy is the treat box candy.
Yeah, when they
'Cause it
pull
has
out
the
like a
Halloween
pumpkin-shaped
stuff on
Reese's.
it.
But they like haven't figured it out yet. Okay.
Oh,
And so,
it's
like,
coming.
Oh, it's
soon.
coming.
dump
Okay,
the
so you don't
old-
throw it away.
We dump
You keep
the
it,
old
okay.
candy out from like whatever's left from the last year.
Yeah.
Of like whatever's left in the treat box. And then
Let's talk about that. Don't have candy from a year ago hanging around
Oh,
in your
Yeah,
100%
candy for
too.
sure expires.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not expired in a year. It doesn't though. It doesn't.
It's chocolate.
It doesn't expire within a year. Go look at those expirations. Like 3 years on those things. Just
It depends
for
on the chocolate.
Just
Yeah,
for
I
health
guess.
right there, by the way. Okay. And it also is where our Easter basket candy goes too. So like it gets twice a
here's the
year of
Easter.
fill.
That's
So if
so
you get
good.
anything with Halloween wrappers on it, do you sort those out?
Nope.
Like
They
the
still-
Halloween
like,
pretzels.
Easter
Nope.
Bunny has Halloween candy in the basket. And the
No,
kids
I
don't
meant
get
like
it?
the treat box gets all the leftover.
They're
'cause
like
they,
afterward buys.
they also don't
not
get
when
to
it's
keep
given.
all that Easter.
They're gonna
candy.
figure it out.
They'll figure it out
Like
eventually.
one day they're gonna figure it out, but like we're not there yet, and they don't care, and so they get their toy, and that's all the candy they get to keep is the amount of their age.
We don't limit anything like that, but I've
Yeah.
noticed that they like after a week, the novelty's worn off and they're slowing down, and like then it's just like, oh, I want a piece of candy after dinner. And when they stop asking every day, I'm like, okay, you're over it. And
Well, that's what
we
the treat
just,
box
like-
is like. The treat box always has candy in it.
Yeah,
You
we
get
literally
it.
have a family communal candy supply after Halloween that his dad and I are equally privy to
Yes.
because we walked around the goddamn neighborhood with him to collect all that candy. So we are just
Oh.
as entitled to it.
Yep. Ours
You
is-
have an
ours
equal
is communal,
family
too.
box. Oh no, that would not
But,
fly
yeah.
at
we
my house.
split it though. Like they sort it when they get back either that night or the next morning into chocolate and non-chocolate.
Agreed. They shall
And
not be
it's two
stored
bowls.
together.
Yeah, it doesn't
Interesting.
work. And then the chocolate ones can't always go in the pantry because they melt sometimes. Like if it's warm in there. So
Oh my god, it's so funny. We have literally, it's like this broken down like Amazon box we've had in our pantry for like 5 years.
We could at least upgrade it,
very
like to like.
interesting,
I'll get
like,
you some
place.
like plastic dog food containers, and I'm gonna write on the in very pretty calligraphy like chocolate, non-chocolate, and
No,
like
literally.
replace the box. I'm gonna switch you.
Show you this fruit box after this, but like,
I absolutely believe this.
but like my kids aren't over here like being like, oh, where's my candy? They don't
not
care.
into it.
They're
Oh,
like-
mine.
Oh,
mine
mine
very
care.
much
I
do.
suppose it depends on the kid too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if it becomes problematic and they're like demanding 10 pieces, 20 pieces of candy every day and the behavior's out, out of control, like obviously common sense does play a part in this, right? In our family, it hasn't been a problem of him like gorging himself on the candy because like he's had 1 or 2 occasions where he's gone to birthday parties and had like 3 cupcakes and then he threw up that night and he learned his lesson, right? So now he knows that he doesn't need to eat 1 million pieces in that one night. And so like we trick or treat together and then we bring a wagon with us because we bring a cooler and a stereo and like are playing Halloween music as we roll down the street in the neighborhood, and then like we have a couple adult beverages along the way, and then like we get the candy and we'll let him dump the bucket. Like I think I tried to limit it to like 3 dumps and then you're done. Like if you can't carry it, then you need to stop collecting candy.
Wagon's a great idea.
Oh, we
for
also do
that.
if you carry what you collect.
You carry what you collect.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, we bring one
started
pillowcase per
letting-
kid. Like you can dump in the pillowcase, but
Yeah.
nope.
We started letting him dump it into the wagon, but it's because it's literally our candy stash for the next like 6 months. And so it's like, okay, cool. Like let's rack up the candy.
I wonder, do you think that would change if there was a sibling?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess it would depend on if that kiddo had trouble with restraining himself.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
herself.
and you would have twice the candy too. Like that's one thing I
Yes,
distinctly
that's
noticed
true.
when Derek started
That's
trick or treating. It was more to deal with. Like it took longer to go through. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much candy.
My kids cannot handle their sugar. Like we are sugar fiends in this house, and like we have no self restraint. None of us.
Well, it's
except
because you
for
have
my
a system then that you get it out of
Yeah.
your system. You get a little bit. You're teaching them moderation.
But like our neighborhood has like food trucks and like music bands and
Same.
like the whole
Fog machines,
Yeah.
bounce houses,
Yeah,
the roads
it's
shut
like-
down. It's
are
like
these
a,
individuals that are arranging
Yeah.
this, or the HOA is doing it?
no.
Oh wow.
That's some privilege.
Yeah, that's a lot. I've got like one house in my neighborhood. They just cover their whole lawn with blow up stuff, and like somebody can like walk through and whatever. But like that's about it. People are like festive, but not all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's like a block party. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are a golf cart neighborhood also. So
Do you golf cart trick or treat?
yes.
Absolutely. I would too if I could.
I never even like, oh my gosh, we need to decorate your golf cart. for
Yeah.
you.
Because we go and we like we go to that like our neighborhood is 2,000
Yeah,
houses.
it's big. Ours is not that big.
It's big. I go to the drink houses first, and those aren't on my street. Like those are
So you drink and golf cart drive?
well, we start the drinking, and yes,
Ah.
yes, we do. We drink and golf
The
cart
answer
drive.
is yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. The answer is
But this gets me to like,
responsible.
I hear you, but I have so much fear in letting my kids just go. Like I know some parents will just stand at the end of the street and just send their kids out to go and come back. And I am not there yet. And it's something I've really had to work on. Like even with Cruz, like I want Beto like right there with him. And when there's two and they're running different places, it stresses me out to no end.
I just golf cart behind them.
I hear you, but like they're
Right, so
little
you're giving them,
children
like, some freedom.
dressed in dark colors. Them to have the independence and fun, but it just I have so much fear.
We do glow stick like bracelets, necklaces, all the things, right? So
Even if
there's,
it
like,
doesn't match the costume.
Oh yeah. Like
Light
once it
them
hits
up.
twilight, right, and it's dark enough for the glow sticks to show up, we like pause, and our whole posse of our friends in the neighborhood, like we try to walk around still every year, but as the kids are starting to get older, like our group is shrinking. It's really sad
'Cause they
But,
wanna
like,
go out by
the
themselves.
adults still like to walk
Yeah.
around and hang out together and like
Yeah.
show off our costumes too. And so like everyone is still festive and invested in it, which is really nice. But like we will pause and like distribute mass amounts of glow sticks and bracelets on the kids so that we can at least like we can stand like our neighborhood has a bunch of really short little cul-de-sac roads. So we'll walk down the main drag of our neighborhood and then we just kind of stay in the main part and then they go run the cul-de-sac now. The youngest is 5. So last year we did that, right? And it worked out really well. And so it's been nice, but it's fun that we do have a nice, close knit group of people who enjoy doing it together too.
Yeah.
Like if it were just Landon and myself and Ryan, like it might not be as fun.
Yeah.
But it's a good time. And then like we're all kind of spread out throughout the neighborhood. So if anyone ever needs like a bathroom break, we can just like duck into a friend's house and like
That
go to the
is nice.
bathroom real fast. So that's
We had to
really
do that
helpful.
last year with Luna. Like she really had to go and we were nowhere near my house and we weren't with other friends. And I texted a friend who was like nearby and I was like, can Luna go to your bathroom? She was like, I'm not there, but my mom is. So I like knocked on the door and I was like, trick or treat. Also, I know your daughter. Can we come in? And she was like,
That's so
but she
funny.
did. We
is
did.
funny.
I feel like anybody in this neighborhood would be like, yes, come use my bathroom.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel
felt
like,
bad.
So.
yeah.
So at what age would you start to consider letting your kiddos like have more
18.
independence?
Define more independence.
So
I'm like really particular about this because I was out at like 13 by myself and stuff,
Okay.
doing things I shouldn't have been doing.
Okay.
And like I know better. Also in my neighborhood, people don't drive well. Like just last year for Halloween, this car came like rushing down and the dude just like stops at like a stop sign and I don't know why he like got out and was like looking around. I'm like, kids are trick-or-treating. Like, can you actually like stop? And he almost came on to me and started some shit. So I'm like, okay, not going to do that. But people are careless or they're like under the influence, like you're saying. And no amount of lighting up, like it's not worth that like split second. And then also Derek doesn't seem to understand you don't go in the houses.
Oh no.
Oh, still?
Yeah.
Maybe this year is your year.
Maybe, because last year he was like in foyers. Like, no matter what we told him, he's like a foot in. We're like, no, don't.
Stranger danger, bud.
Oh.
Yeah, like, yeah. So
They have
there's,
candy.
I know.
well, that itself is like just so confusing. Like,
I'm
don't take candy
sure.
from strangers, but these people are strangers, but they're neighbors, but they're not. And I just, there's
It
too
is
many
really tricky.
scary people out there that I don't trust it until I feel like my kids have that sense of judgment. I'll reconsider. Otherwise, when you're an adult, do your own thing.
It's so interesting because I'd say I'm like the most loosey-goosey on my feral children. And I am even like, well, mostly because I want to go. Like, I don't want to.
I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I don't want to
But
miss it.
so it's FOMO. It's not like you're worried for their safety.
Yeah, for me, it's the FOMO.
I feel like I've literally had many a therapy session over this particular topic because I was having so much anxiety about it. And I was tracking, so Cruz and Beto, this was before Luna, like I was tracking them on my phone of like where they were. And
Like while you're
watching.
handing out candy or something?
Like while I was handing out, Luna, I think was sleeping because she was a baby, and like just feeling really anxious and wanting them to stay together and wanting to light them up.
And Beto stayed home with Luna.
Because I was that anxious. Like I was
Yeah, I
a
get
fun
that.
killer, even though I love Halloween, because I was just having such a hard time with him running house to house and it was in the dark and I couldn't see him. It was really hard for me. And she was like, you have got to stop checking. And I was also, she was trying to like, she was like, you have to put that energy into teaching the skills. So like that whole fall, I was talking to Cruz about like, here's a sidewalk. We stop here. He was younger.
Yeah.
Like, here's how we walk on the sidewalk. Here's how we, and really like very, I think he might've been 4 or 5 because Luna was a baby. Very like, I don't know. I had to like really try to force myself because I was terrified.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a little better, a little.
Yeah.
But I think I'm getting close to that again, where Cruz is like probably could, but he gets so amped up on candy. I mean, all the kids do. They just run.
Our
you
kids
know?
don't eat any of the candy.
Oh, yeah. We don't
trick-or-treating.
let them eat any. That's
They
like
for
giving
sure
them drugs.
eat it. And he's excited. So we did the light up glow sticks at Tania's suggestion. Last year, Luna's entire dress lit up. Like from underneath, it had like Christmas lights in it, which made me so happy.
The light up sneakers are a good
the light
hack,
up
too.
sneakers. And so like I'm already trying to like amp. I know Halloween's like this week, so I'm trying to like, I want to give them more independence. We have a route that we can do that's mostly one big circle with cul-de-sacs. So I think that's where I'd like to go this year is like, we're going to stand at the end of the cul-de-sac and let them at least do that part.
Yeah, it was-
Or feel like
that
it's
was where we
independent, even
started.
though it's
Yeah.
not really.
I mean, we don't go up to like the
But I'm
doors
already
with
like,
them.
okay. Like,
I mean, I have a feeling this is going to be the first year my kids are going to ask to like trick or treat with friends.
and what if they want to go different places?
No, sir, we are together.
Will you roll together with the friends like we kind of have done
I
in
think
our
it
neighborhood?
depends on like the thing is my kids now have separate friends that are not like
Not one group.
Yeah, it's
That's
not like
hard.
our friend group
Yeah.
with the same like it's not like us with this kids the same age. It's like Evan's school friend because our school's in our neighborhood, so a lot of the school friends are in the neighborhood, and so like they have like a friend down the street or like Cole has a friend next door and like they want to trick or treat with their friends. I'm gonna be like, absolutely not. We trick or treat together as family because I'm trick or treating.
So one of our neighbors, we just got invited to it last year, but I understand she's done it every year, orders pizza and sets up tents and everyone goes to like eat pizza and have drinks, like a potluck kind of at her house in her garage. And then everyone leaves from there. So last year was the first year we did it, but in her garage, she had a and I love that. Like, I'm not quite, like, I'm too anxious at Halloween to host that kind of thing, but it was really nice to have, like, a starting point. We didn't necessarily stay together the whole loop around, but maybe you could start a new tradition and be
did
that house.
too, right? We would start we would alternate like at the top of the neighborhood or the bottom entrance of the neighborhood. Like every year it would flip flop as so that because like the houses get flooded, right? So like we all would go. They would have like a adult beverage and a non-adult beverage. Everyone would like get to see people's costumes in the daylight, and then we would get one big neighborhood picture, and then it was like, okay, go forth. But like it kind of gave a semblance of like order to the neighborhood too, where like if you knew that it was starting there, then the houses that were closest to it were ready, right, early on. And then the houses that were towards the end of the neighborhood knew that it was going to be later before the kids made it down there to them. But it also was kind of safety in numbers in terms of the car traffic and that kind of thing that I really loved, because everyone was sort of moving the same direction. All the adults, literally, we would walk in the street.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And like, we're trying to keep the kids on the sidewalk, but like, we were the ones who were literally creating the road barriers if ever a car was coming through. And then you would just hear like, car, 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 right? Like, everyone would send out the signal. And so it was really, really nice that we knew that there were other grown-up eyes that were looking out for those kind of hazards, right?
Yeah.
Not just looking out for your kid, obviously. Like, you're responsible for your own kid, but at least like the bigger hazards, it was sort of a
Easier to
communal
see a group of
effort that
people,
was
too.
really, really nice. I enjoyed that a lot.
I think it's interesting for us because the neighborhood is so big, right?
Yeah.
We have like
It's a different beast.
We have subsections of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like,
So you don't hit all of it.
no, I mean,
No way.
No, there's no way. Like, we have to like take the map and like prioritize which section of the neighborhood we
Yeah.
want to go to.
Yeah.
And like where we want to go. And honestly, we don't see a lot of cars during the trick-or-treating time. There's a lot of golf carts, but not a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Like,
The
very
cars
few.
puzzle me. Like, why is anybody out driving in a damn neighborhood on Halloween? Like,
I mean,
you
depending
know.
on
I
when
mean,
the
I think
trick-or-treating some people are just coming home
Some
from
people are coming
work.
home from work.
it's-
No, I'm talking like 8 o'clock at night. Like
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
like peak trick or treat time. Like, you know. Why are you out here?
I will always go with my kids, I think, one, because FOMO, and
Yeah.
two, anxiety, but also, like, I love giving out candy. I love seeing the costumes. Like, before I had kids, I really enjoyed it. I gave full-size bars out even then, before we had kids, because I wanted the My house, you also have to, like, work for, right?
to
You have
be
to,
the
like,
cool house.
go
Yeah.
around or go down a hill. It's not, like, super easy to go to the front door. And so, like, we go all out on decorations. We go all out on like motion censored sounds. And like, I want to hand out the candy, and I have FOMO for missing that too.
I was
Me
saying, so like,
too.
how do
A
you
long
hand
time
out?
ago.
Like, how do you hand out?
So right
candy?
now we set out like a whole table and we lay it out, and there's a video, and it is full size, and the kids have been really good. Like, nobody's come by and taken a bunch. But I just wish I could convince someone like my mom to be at my house and like hand out. I don't
For
know.
the
it's
full like ring
the
trick
full
or treat experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
do
do
think my
miss
parents
that.
end up staying at like they go with a little bit, but then like they're over it and they come back and like hand out candy.
Yeah.
We do a bowl of candy at the end of our driveway because
Yep.
anxious dog at home, and I don't need the doorbell ringing a million times in one night because she would lose her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I am not going to miss out on the trick or treating and walking around with our friends. So
Maybe
like,
I need
it's
to do it
on
at
our
the end of the
system.
driveway,
It's
'cause
on
mine's
our
been on the
system.
porch.
And we've come home sometimes and like someone's probably dumped the whole bowl in their bag, which is really crappy, right? And karma will eventually get them. But like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to miss out on the fun just to like
Yeah.
hand out the candy.
Yeah, we
and
do
I
the
think
same.
because we do the neighborhood like gather beforehand, it does give me more of a chance to see the kids and their
Yeah.
costumes and stuff. So I guess it scratches that itch for me.
On the porch, though, we have our Ring camera.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
like
I
last
love
at
watching
night
that.
after the kids are training, I'm like like it sounds creepy, but I like watch my Ring camera. I'm like, oh look, they were cute. Oh look, like there was one kid who like put candy back because we were out of candy, and then I was
Oh,
like, that
that's
is
so
so
nice.
sweet, So
It is
I
kind of
would
nice to know who's like the
enjoy
nice
it,
kid doing that.
but if-
versus,
Some
like,
things.
the
If
kid
I had
that
to put
dumped
it at the
all.
end of my driveway, it would probably be better for them, but we wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, we put ours on our porch, and like the doorbell camera can see it. Sometimes we even go and dump our like pillowcase candy in the bowl, and it just recycles back around.
Yep.
In one way or another.
fair.
Yeah. So it ends up like being, if we pass the house on like the route, but I've like planned a route with like minimal left turn
Yeah.
at this point. But
I like how it's the left turns for you guys.
Same.
I,
It
I
is.
want to like, I don't want to cross the street more than I have to. So if I can
Exactly.
stay on one route and just
Yep.
follow and like snake up and down the whole, like
Yeah.
that's what I prefer to do.
And it keeps the
also-
kids from darting across the street constantly.
Yes.
You can just like, let's just
We'll
do this
get
one
that side of
and
the
we'll
street
head
when we
back.
come
Yes.
around.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, we do that also, but like the house, we got to go to the houses. Like one house makes beignets.
What?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like deep frying like them as you're
That's
like,
so
fresh,
fun.
and you're like, well, I got to go to that house. Like I need to have a.
We have a haunted house in our neighborhood too that we have to go through.
Interactive.
That's intense. Yeah,
boy.
Cruz went through with me. There's some like earlier in the night, it's like less intense, and it's not only on Halloween. Like so, when it gets closer, I'll send you. There might be some times this week where I can send you. Like you go this hour, it's like for the younger kids,
Oh,
and then you
yeah.
go this hour's for the older, and then they run it on Halloween night, and it is scary. It is scary.
Oh.
You have to tell me all about
So
it.
we have to go past that house.
So wait, that is an interesting thought for me is like in terms of like adult Halloween traditions or festivities, right? Like there are all these like
miss
haunted
it.
houses you can go to. And like we did our first like adult Halloween party, plug the Sutherland out. Nichole and I are going to be out of town.
I'm still going.
Please go.
Why are you going to be out of town?
For work, but
Work
but
time.
like it would be amazing for you guys to go because
Let's
they
go.
did such a good job. And I will say, when you love Halloween as much as we do as grown-ups, it was so fun to see other adults loving it as much as you do.
Yes.
And like
The indulgence is
fully
great.
embracing and like costumes to the nines. Tickets were not that expensive.
It felt magical. It felt like I was in a movie.
It was
going to like a
delightful
Halloween
food.
show.
There
Food was
was
good. The venue itself was
beverages,
beautiful.
yeah,
Like
it was
lots of good photo ops.
stunning. Yeah.
I liked it.
So the other thing is haunted houses.
Well, let me tell you, last year we did Halloween at Disney.
Oh, that's right.
We like were in the magic. We went to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and we were at Disney for Halloween. We trick or treated that night and like did the rides and everything. So it wasn't the scary. But I grew up in Florida, so we always went to like the Universal Scary Halloween.
Is that the Halloween Horror Nights?
Halloween
is
Horror
that Universal?
Nights, and then Busch
Okay.
Gardens always had a Halloween scare things, and like so I've always done those, and there's nothing like that here.
It's not at the
true.
same level, but that
not
is
at the
not
same
true.
level.
Carowinds does a Scarowinds.
Okay.
I went on my 30th birthday, and it wasn't at the same level, but there were like pockets of the park that there were like zombies chasing you and stuff, which I really like. But the friend I happened to go with at that time like didn't like that, so it was the whole thing. But we should couple that with we could do a Friday night at Scarowinds and a Saturday at the Ren Fair.
Oh.
Because I love like theme park, like roller coaster park Halloweens. Like they are literally what I grew up like knowing and doing at least once a year. And like, I'm like, there's nothing like
I
that.
did that
I would
once.
love
It was
to do
fun.
that. I've never done one at like the parks.
Oh, it's so
What I
fun.
will say is in our area here in
Day
North
trip.
Carolina, in
Night
Snow
trip.
Camp, North Carolina, there is a haunted house that is run by 2 retired Hollywood special effects makeup artists. Like Emmy winning. They worked on Star Trek and they worked on all these other films and TV shows, like top-notch quality. And I hope that they're still doing it. I need to see if they have it again this season. But we have been there at least 3 different years over the years. And it was terrifying. Like I'm that weird person. Like I have so much anxiety, but for whatever reason, I will still pay money to go into a haunted house and be scared shitless, right?
I like to
don't
be scared if it's
understand it.
me. I don't like it with my kids. That's my
Agreed.
distinguishing
This was
line.
not a kid's thing,
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. But like, there are some of these little opportunities, but you have to work for them.
And it's so
around
funny.
here.
I don't get scared.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you a laugher?
Total scary
like
cat.
yeah, like they don't scare me.
I will
Like,
scream and cry and nope.
Maybe it's because I did so many of
So you're
them.
coming with us.
I will, but will you hug me when I start crying?
We'll just put you
I won't.
put
but
you-
they will.
I know you will.
No, they will.
Put you in the center, and we'll make like
you're
a
on
little
your own
circle
You're
around.
on your own, kid.
Okay.
We'll protect you.
I will still scream. So
This is going to be
So here's the
much
thing:
fun.
you can't draw attention
Because then they like to
to
pick
you
on you.
being
I know.
scared because then they will glom on.
I think that's what happened when I went to, I think it was like Six Flags in Allentown or something like that. And yeah, someone noticed and they were like, like tapping.
I mean, listen, Halloween Horror
Get
Nights
away.
is one of my all-time favorite like events for Halloween, and so like this will have to be a thing one year we do, but like
Yes,
it
please.
is
Yes, please.
amazing.
Say less.
It's like amazing.
Have you
I will
seen
try it
on TikTok it's the Hershey's Park?
Oh, I love
The
that.
amusement park in
yeah.
Hershey that has the guys that like slide across the pavement and scare the shit out of you, and like sparks are flying because they have like metal plates on their
Yes.
knees and their boots and stuff.
I love that park. That could be really
Hershey
fun.
Park's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
I love her.
A little farther to go than Carowinds, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Well, as
Like
we get
childhood.
older, we can make up bucket list and we can just
love
check
it.
them all off.
Yeah, but though my kids did say last year after being at Halloween at Disney, they liked it, but they missed trick-or-treating in their neighborhood with their like people and
Yeah.
wanted
That's why
to
I haven't
be-
done like a Halloween cruise yet. The kids are like, but I want to go trick or treating.
Yeah, and they wanted to be home, so they asked that we like not do that, and I was like, fair. But because we have those days off school, like we end up having more days off that I was like, we can do like a really long weekend trip, right? And we did Elemental last year, and we're all the like elements at Disney,
Fun.
which was fun. But Halloween, obviously, we all super enjoy.
Love
So
it
like,
so much.
what is let's do a quick round of like, what was your favorite Halloween costume you've ever been?
Oh,
Oh no.
that's a hard question.
Think about it.
That I have ever been?
Yeah.
Me personally?
Yeah, what is your favorite Halloween costume?
okay.
I
I have
can
two
start.
that
Okay.
immediately come to mind for me.
Go ahead.
Last year at the adult Halloween party, I was Beetlejuice, and then I tried to have we tried to do like a gender. So that
I
didn't
got
quite.
it.
It didn't.
I
quite
got
come
it,
off.
but when you weren't
I loved
together,
When
it
we were
wasn't
together,
clear.
it worked. But then I think our Harry Potter family costume was one of my other favorites because like I was Hermione and had the giant frizzy brown hair, and like Ryan was so goddamn cute as the little baby Harry Potter. I think he was 5 when we did that, and
Okay.
it was a good one.
I'd say my favorite family one was PJ Masks.
Yeah.
And we had like the stroller at that year that I decorated. Half of it is Gecko and half of it is the Catmobile. And it was like one of those like pushy,
That's
like
so
big
cool.
ones. And like each kid was one. And like they were just so little and so like into being PJ Masks that they were like really into it.
Oh,
Like,
they
we
were PJ Masks.
They were PJ
Yes.
Masks and we were them. So like even Evan went to a whole phase where he wanted his name to be Connor for like a long time. He was like, I wish you had named me Connor. And I was
How
like,
dare you?
well, you didn't. And then my favorite personal is when for years, I was Dorothy for like 5 years in a row.
Because it's just your go-to, your
Like,
favorite.
But like as a kid, like
Yeah.
it's my favorite. Like I was Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. It was like my favorite movie, my favorite costume. Like I loved my red sparkly shoes.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
one-
you're bringing me back. I hadn't even thought about kid costumes.
Yeah. And then one year, the like red sparkly shoes were out of stock and they didn't have my new size. So my mom got me like gold ones. And she said, like, you're just the keys, Dorothy. Like for the Florida sunshine, Dorothy. And tried to like, I was like,
that's
but they're
cute.
not red. And that was the last time I think I was Dorothy.
Oh,
Dorothy.
we can all
Ruined
do
it.
Wizard of Oz together.
I love
with
Wizard
Wicked
of
is coming
Oz.
back this year.
Yeah.
Wicked's got a
saying.
movie
Wizard
coming.
of Oz is like literally one of my all-time favorite movies.
Well, Wicked's coming out in the theater, so
Yeah.
it'd be timely. Just
Yeah.
saying. I think my favorite personal costume was just the one I discovered last year, which was Feyre from Akatar, because I didn't realize how much I'd like being an elf.
Oh.
Like
A
just
fairy.
whatever.
Fae.
Fae.
Specifically the pointy ears.
Fae with
For
pointy
whatever
ears.
reason, the
thing
pointy
for you.
ears unlocked like I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with it.
Embodied it. It was.
I had so much fun. And I'm trying to think. When I was younger, I did strawberry shortcake a lot. Like similar, like it was the pink kind of plaid dress. I did that over and over. I liked the knee highs, the green and white striped knee highs. There was one year though, we rented a costume from the local theater at Yale and I was Princess Buttercup. Like in the gold dress.
What's Princess Buttercup?
From the Princess
from
Bride.
the Princess Bride.
Okay. We have our
We have
next
some
movie
education
for
to
girls.
be done.
I was like, I don't
and I just felt so pretty. Like I could have gotten married in that dress. I mean, I was like 14, but I just thought it was the best thing.
I love that.
What about you, Ashley?
As a kid, I did a lot of like variations on witches because
I'm
I was.
shocked by this.
Aren't you?
Ever worn a costume that wasn't black?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I
Like
wasn't
I
sure if that's a
distinctly
thing.
remember being like a giant blue M&M one year, like a big, one of those big like
Still
foam
does not
costumes.
feel like the traditional kids costume.
I know, but it was hilarious. But I did a lot of like vampires and witches and those kinds of things. And by the time I was a teenager, like my little emo heart was like, fuck you, I'm gonna wear my black lipstick finally and I'm gonna fit in as a witch. As an adult, I think my favorite, one year Bob and I were Yip Yips from Sesame Street.
Yip yip.
They're those like fuzzy little, just like giant mouth, giant eye. All they say is like yip yip, alien. Uh-huh. So we put on ponchos with giant boob-sized googly eyes. It was hilarious. It was a good time. And we just walked around going like, yip, 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 yip. We thought it was funny. So
I wouldn't have known what that was.
That's fine. You would
You
have
would've
drunk
still
and
laughed
stupid.
at that.
Yeah.
'Cause they'd been
Yeah.
It was
Yep,
a
yep.
real good time. But yeah,
I like it.
Oh, I
those
love
characters.
Halloween.
I will say this did just remind me my actual all-time favorite costume that I had forgotten about. But when Landon and I were so young, I did Sydney Bristow from Alias, the old TV show.
Oh, yeah,
This is
yeah.
a deep cut for any of my people who know Alias, right? So she was a spy.
Yeah.
Right. And she would, every episode, she would get the most intense, different, looks and personas and characters. Right. And so I literally had 3 separate costumes that night with totally different vibes. And I made like gadgets and things like little bombs and computer chips that like I carried with me for props. And I changed throughout the night
'Cause you were a
different
spy.
times because I was a spy. And I literally was talking to one friend who didn't realize it was me because I was in a different costume.
Oh,
And
wow.
I had no idea. And it was the best
That's
time.
so fun.
I loved it so much. I might have to reprise that one
For sure.
someday.
I mean, clearly we all love Halloween. So we would love for you guys tag us in your Halloweens and tell us what your favorite costumes are and follow us at ShePack Unleashed.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, you do it. In sync.
Yeah, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for being a part of our pack.
Wow. This is Ashley, Jenny, Nichole, and Tania signing off. Stay spooky.
Ooh.